not ready to go yet. Okay? I'm not ready. You gotta wait. I got shit to do. I'm in the middle of something. All right? Just hold on.
Watch your mouth or don't come in here.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Oh, yeah, people, come on, we're adults here.
You know what? What is the point?
Yeah, we're adults here. I got a fucking Burger King fucking thing on my head. We're all fucking adults here, guys. People in my chat, 2 words. What are they? 2 words. Let me see the chat flood. Let me see the chat flood. 2 words. Okay, next caller. Please. Let's get into the meat and potatoes, which translate in American to dick and balls.
I got flip-flops. These are my flip-flops. Yeah, I really like my flip-flops because I can put them on. Because look, watch me put them on. I can put them on all by myself. Watch me put them on. Look, are you watching? Look, these are my flip-flops.
Thanksgiving Day. I remember it clearly. It was Thanksgiving Day. I was inserting myself in somebody else's fucking business as a cash grab, and you know. This channel is harsh reality.
Karen Yak se jodió la sucia vida. Amen.
This is Jonathan Lee Riches. I have cheeseburgers. I'm gonna put cheese on them. I'm gonna make sure that I have my hamburgers because I'm a big boy now and I can make the hamburgers. My mom lets me use the stove now.
And I'm just like, wow, I like receipts, and they brought receipts. Like they had evidence to back up everything they said, and I'm like, okay, well, there's got to be another side to this, right? Like this can't. No, this is too fantastic.
Yeah, because you're not going to just jump to the conclusion that there's a conspiracy amongst cops to cover up a murder. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean cops and just like soccer moms and shit. Like that's what made it even crazier. Like,
yeah, get it, Betty. Yeah,
did you have a close relationship with your mom?
Get it, Betty.
Oh, of course, I still do.
Yeah.
My older sister was kind of sad. She was more of the prissy girl that likes going.
That is the best shit fucking
shopping for dresses with mommy. I was the tomboy that liked playing with the feet.
Shout out to Cherry for just being easily the most faithful and loyal supporter that I've ever had. That someone could have that tenacity with loyalty. And I'm really blessed to have someone like Cherry be part of this channel and in my life. So it means a lot. And yes, I named him after Mr. T and Rocky. Say, woman. Say, woman. Say, woman. Since your old man ain't got no heart, why don't you come down to my apartment tonight and I'll show you a real man. Oh my God, I'm so in love with this little dude. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this one up. I love you guys very, 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 very much. And we will do this again very soon, my friends. Oh, say bye. Say bye. Oh, I love you too. Give me a kiss. Oh, I love you. Bye, guys. evening, friends. Oh man. Oh, this should be fun, people. It's great to see you guys. Man, I was live a lot yesterday. But yeah, what we're going to talk about today, we're not going to jump right into it, but what we're going to talk about today is this wonderful interview that took place today between Jess Machado, or conducted by Jess Machado, the fantastic Jess Machado, with Kate Peter. Yeah, man. Thank you so much, Liz, for gifting a membership. It's always so very kind of her to do that. So yeah, man. It was fun to listen to, and it was fun to be in the chat for that. It was like it's Jess Machado's like launch, dude. So whatever you're doing right now, you need to stop doing it. Click on the link that's pinned to the top of the chat and subscribe. And later I'm going to share the link to the video that I'm going to review. As a matter of fact, I'm going to do it right now. So stop what you're doing and give this a like. All right. And make sure to subscribe while you're on her channel. So I was I was in an Uber, and I get a message from somebody, and they go, yo, Jess Machado's got Kate Peter on right now. And I was like, oh, what? Because I went in there at first, but I was like doing stuff. I couldn't stay in the chat because I wanted to hang out for her first stream. And she had Paula Prado on there. And I was like really excited because I love Paula, man. And who doesn't love Paula, dude? You know what I mean? Like, she's amazing. And it was just great to see her on there. Jess's first show. And the thing is, what you guys got to understand about Jess Machado is what we're going to do today is, once I wrap this up, I'll try to stay with you guys for the full 3 hours. But once we wrap this up, Turtle Boy will be making his triumphant return back from his vacation, which I'm sure he's going to have plenty to talk about. And we're all very excited to see that. And I couldn't think of a better way to segue into that than to celebrate the amazing Jess Machado while shitting all over Kate Peter. I can't think of a better way to do it. I think it's absolutely I think it's like something that just has to be done. And it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a lot of fun. And I'm really excited to see Aiden live again. And I'm really excited to hear what his experience was. Really, I want to hear mostly about the Ben Affleck interaction. Dying to hear about that. Ben Affleck's kind of a personal hero, man. He's directed some of my favorite movies, been in some of my favorite movies. So I think that's really cool. And I'm sure he's going to go over a lot of the updates too, which I'm really excited to hear his takes on. So I was in an Uber. I get this message, and then of course, I tell the Uber driver, because it was a nice quiet Uber ride. Sometimes you get a good conversation going, sometimes you get a very talkative Uber driver, sometimes it's nice and quiet. And it was a nice and quiet one, and I asked the guy, I was like, hey, do you mind if I listen to this? You know, so I turned it up and I was listening to it, and it was incredibly entertaining. And I have to talk about how amazing Jess Machado is at interviewing. Like those latest, like when you see when like me or Melanie or somebody is streaming a trial, like a Turtle Boy hearing, specifically as of late, when you hear someone asking Bettero and Bradel those amazing questions on the steps, that is most likely her. And she delivers these questions like just like a natural flow. It's really fantastic to watch Jess work. She's great. It's really, actually, it reminds me too, because Jess was like, me and her recognized each other the first time I went to Boston. I walk into the courtroom and she's at the press area, and immediately we recognized each other. It was really cool. We were like, hey. She's just one of the sweetest people that I've ever met in my life. Genuinely, just one of the sweetest people I've ever met in my life. So it's just really cool to see her doing this, because I think she's going to be amazing at it. And I think this community would benefit from showing her the gratitude of everything that she's contributed to this whole Karen Reed Turtle Boy thing. I mean, especially with Turtle Boy too, because she's usually in the courtroom. If there's no Zoom, she's tweeting updates. I mean, she has been amazing. I cannot overstate how amazing and unsung Jess Machado is. So we're going to try to change that. So, let me go ahead and start this. Because there's really nothing else I wanted to go over today. There's like, I was live for 5 hours, and then I took a break, and then I went live again for 3 hours last night. And then, so, I mean, everything that I can think of has been gone over. So so this is just gonna be and what's interesting is this is like a different kind of petty stream. It's like a petty stream, but we're gonna focus more on the positive too here. So this is gonna be fun.
Going fast. Yes. Can we
Got to give.
don't go back and forth with each other in the comment section.
Yeah, don't do that.
It's hard to keep up. People are going to go fast and things because also I did say to Kate, we could shut the comments off or we could limit them. And she went, why? She went, why? She doesn't care. So
like, I'll give Krusty that much. She doesn't. That is true. And interestingly enough, right? Like, one thing that I've always said is a chat is reflective of the creator of that channel. The chat and how it conducts themselves in the chat is very, very reflective of the creator. I've always said this. I've always believed it. It's one of the first things I noticed as being a YouTuber and interacting in chats. And having said that, I had to make the observation. I couldn't help but make the observation that Jess, this is her first stream, and like, this is the launch, right? And she had, at least when I was watching, at least 900 something people in there. And her chat was, for the most part, very respectful towards each other. I mean, there was a few jabs here and there, but for the most part, the chat was just running, you know? And that to be able to demand that kind of respect just simply by setting that example and having only one live stream as you're going as that example to set is a hell of an accomplishment. It's a hell of a feat. Like it's very impressive for a green YouTuber. It is. She's going to blow up. She's going to do great. So and it's the way that she asks those questions. Like I'm always blown away when I see her asking Timothy Bradle and Mark Betterow questions on those steps. She's mind-blowing. And because she'll even ask tough questions, you know. But she knows when it's being shitty, and she doesn't ever cross that line. Like, never seen her do it.
I want to do one thing before we get Kate, and we want to bring her on, because someone mentioned to me the other day, months ago, I had asked Kate a bunch of questions, and did I get rid of them? Are they gone? There were like a bunch of questions for Kate, and maybe I don't have them. It's gone. Anyway, we're going to wing it. You guys, are you ready for Kate Peter? For those, I'm going to have Kate give you the background on who she is. We might go to noon with Kate, it's a half hour. Show ends at 12, and then stick around for a few more minutes so I can close it out and thank our sponsors again. But let's bring Kate Peter on the stage. Hi, Kate.
Hey, Jess.
How are you?
All right. How are you?
I'm great. First of all, thanks for agreeing to do this. Had a lot of people telling me you would never agree to it. Had a lot of people, even up to a few minutes ago, saying she's not coming on. She's going to
no, I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do that to you.
So there are some people that are watching have no idea who you are. If you have to give a description of who you are, what would it be?
So I'm a person on the internet that often fights with other people. It becomes sort of a show.
Oh my God. That's her fucking mantra, bro. Like, that's her own self-label, dude. Think about that shit for a second. Dude, think about that shit for a second, dude. Like, immediately, without... Now, I missed this part. Some of this stuff is going to be reaction. That was absolutely reaction. Because... remember, somebody texted me and told me she was on. I hadn't seen this. I just watched it live from where I picked it up. And well, I'm somebody who fights with people on the internet. What? that's your fucking thing. Like, I mean, at least she's honest. Like, at least she's honest about that. You know? Like, that's that's what's disturbing, though. That's what's disturbing. Like, is that a lack of self-awareness, or is it hyper self-awareness? Because there's a lot of behavior that really indicates a lack of self-awareness from her. You know what I mean? So that was fucking great. That was great. This is off to a fantastic start.
And I have taken the opposite side to Free Karen Reed, and that has upset a lot of people. And I actually want to talk a lot about that, right? As far
No. I can only speak for myself, right? I'm not in the slightest bit upset about the fact that she is anti-Karen Reed. I don't give a fuck what your opinion is on that. Like, if you think Karen Reed is... my whole take has always been, if you think Karen Reed is guilty, you're fucking retarded. How many times have you heard me say that? If you think Karen Reed is guilty, you're fucking retarded. How many times? That doesn't mean that I don't like you or I hate you. That means that you're just fucking retarded. You know? Like, I don't have some sort of deep, you know, like, feelings against retardation. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not anti-retard, you know? Like, you could be retarded. That's your right. That's your right as an American, is to be fucking retarded. Knock yourself out. Like, that's a you problem. You know what I mean? I just point out the fact that you're retarded. That's all I do. I can't speak for anybody else.
It's like, what is so upsetting here? Because I see a lot of hypocrisy in this movement, which I'm a little bit confused why it's still continuing.
And it's brilliant too, because Jess's first question was fucking brilliantly placed. Just brilliant. It was, tell us a little bit about you. She knows Kate wants to talk about herself. She knows she does. Like, what a way to, like, that's the push start, bro. That's the roof. Let's go. Beautiful, beautiful question right there. Tell us about you. And then, man, she just went right into everyone hates me. Ah! Like, she just like barreled right into that shit. Gerda gifted a membership. Thank you so much. Oh my gosh. This is fucking great.
She's free, right? You watched it happen. I watched it. She's free. So the fact that she still has like this fandom and that it's now leaking over to the civil trial, which is, litigation between the victim's family and Karen Reed, to me is just a little bit perplexing. I don't know how closely you're going to be following the loss of community.
Man, I really wanted to hear what that was.
You feel with the case over. So I don't know if you're planning on continuing that through the civil trial or.
Well, let me pause you for a second because I appreciate a good.
I can answer that. I mean, I don't see what's so perplexing about it. John O'Keefe still doesn't have justice. I don't see what's so perplexing about Karen Reed was dragged. She was framed. She was drained for 3.5 years. You're telling me that you're perplexed over the fact that the woman that you saw just gazing at every witness who sat on that stand and lied, just gazing into their eyes with, that whole time, it's perplexing to think that she's going to hold those people accountable for what they put her through. It's not perplexing to me at all. Not even a little fucking bit. And it's perplexing to you that all of us that have stood behind her this entire time are just going to be like, oh, well, I don't care about that. We're just going to be like, whatever. She's getting revenge. Fuck that. Let's get fucking real. Oh, JC. Let me read this. When I catch these, I catch these only if they come through on my phone. And then I just always forget to go over them. But JC sent me a Venmo and says, just because you keep it real. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. I mean, think about that shit. Like, what's so perplexing about these very people who she's saying won't go away? Standing behind this woman as shit's about to go, the pendulum's about to go the other way. And we're just going to get bored and walk away all of a sudden? Fuck no, dude. We're going to get louder and louder for Karen Reed now. We're going to get way louder. We're going to get louder for Turtle Boy. I mean, this is just about to get fucking fun. This is just about to get fun.
Backhanded dig saying that I lost a sense of community. I
No,
appreciate that.
That wasn't a backhanded dig. You did put up that post, and I find it interesting. That's not a backhanded dig at all. I mean, we're living in a complete.
Jess was like, yeah, I know what you just fucking did there. Stop it. Wow. Dina Peterson gifted 10 memberships. Thank you so much. Oh, my boy Maz is in the house. What's up, homie?
Completely different age now, and so there is meaningful connection that comes out of stuff like this. I'm not trying to take
Well,
it
when I mean, I'll push back on you and say I asked you to describe who you were to everybody, and your first words were, you know, I've had the take of I'm anti-Karen Reed. You could have named yourself and talked about yourself in any other capacity. You started off right with the Karen Reed thing, right? So
boom! I love that shit, dude. I love that shit because this again, I still had not gotten to this point yet. So like my experience just now was that Jess Machado validated my shit. Like totally caught what she just did, which was she couldn't wait. She had to just boom. I love that Jess Machado fucking, and I fucking swear she set it up that way. I swear she set that trap. Like y'all are fucking sleeping if you're not watching Jess Machado, reading her shit, following her tweets. Y'all are sleeping.
So it's a big part of who you are, obviously, right? Would you agree?
Well, I think it's more the context around this, right? Like that's the common thread. I assumed that was probably, I mean, you had Paula Prado on, and so I'm just assuming. I mean, in the broader sense of who I am, I don't really want to have an existential crisis at 11:30 in the morning on your show, but
you wouldn't have Paula Prado on? Paula Prado? You wouldn't have her on?
I mean, for all intents and purposes in the context, I think that's what's pertinent, right?
So go ahead. I'm going to give you an opportunity because I want to ask questions. By the way, I know you often do a show, correct? You have your own show. Is that true?
I do, not as much as I used to right now. I'm working on some other stuff that takes a lot of time, and I got like burnt out by live streaming after a while. So, but I used to, and every once in a while I'll pop up on Yellow Cottage Tales or maybe fire up one of my own, but not really my thing right now.
In the event,
bro, like y'all ever like random girl, thank you, welcome to Logic. Y'all ever see somebody and they make you feel like you need a shower? Like I know some of y'all know what I mean, man. Like you just see somebody and listen to them talk and you feel like you need a shower. You know what I mean?
that we don't get an opportunity for you to ask me questions and me respond, I'm happy to jump on yours and answer whatever we don't get to. I know we only have a little bit of time, but go ahead and start off.
Oh, wow. Random girl gifted another 5 memberships. Thank you so much.
With what you were going to say, I have some questions, but you were just
No,
talking.
why don't you go ask some questions?
All right. So the first thing I need to know, and I think a lot of people want to know, and when we talked on the phone, I said, all of a sudden you have an anti-Morrissey stance. And you said, well, I was never actually for Morrissey leading up until this point.
Correct.
But you have come out with some statements that have clearly, you know, drawn a line here. Can you elaborate a little bit on not necessarily your change, but what we are seeing as your stance, which is anti-Morrissey right now?
Right. So I was never pro Morrissey. I was not like specifically anti-Morrissey, but
yeah, nobody likes their boss.
Looking at the case, right? And Morrissey really doesn't have his hands right on top of the Karen Reed case. I would assume he's a politician. He's not a lawyer, right? So, you know, the abuses that were leveled at Adam Lally or Laura McLaughlin, or certainly Hank Brennan, I found to be entirely unmerited. But Morrissey's in a different position, right? He's a politician. So I didn't really think that everything that was going on with Karen Reed reflected on him one way or the other. It's just his office, and I have my own feelings, which are strongly pro-prosecution in that case. However,
wait, hold that thought. I don't want to distract you, but if Morrissey is
strongly pro-prosecution,
one way or the other, it's just his office, and I have my own feelings, which are strongly pro-prosecution in that case. However,
wait, hold that thought. I don't want to disjoint you, but if Morrissey isn't the one who is the top cover, like in control, who, just really quickly, who's the one in control of the case if it's not Morrissey?
Right.
Well, Morrissey is the one who is making the decisions as far as staffing, funding, things of that nature, right? Right.
Go ahead.
Maybe sometimes he'll sign a motion, but the actual grunt work, the work here, right? Because that's what these cases are, whether you're the prosecution or the defense, it's work. The people that were doing the work were clearly Adam Lally, Laura McLaughlin, and then later on Hank Brennan. So although Morrissey has a certain degree of oversight, does he know what's going on with the case every day? No. Does he have his finger on every piece of evidence? Absolutely not. He's a politician, right? And so the decisions that he makes as far as prosecuting this woman, I mean, I don't understand why people would ever complain about that. He had.
Okay. I believe that to a certain extent. Dina Peterson gifted 5 memberships. Thank you so much. I'm not going to do the applause every single time because I don't want to lose my train of thought, but thank you so much. So like I just did. So Michael Morrissey, so I believe her to a certain extent because she's saying Michael Morrissey just hires the people and, you know, that's it. He's a politician. He doesn't have his hands in every part of the case. He doesn't know every aspect of the case. I find that very difficult to believe. I find it difficult to believe that I would know more about the Karen Reed case than Michael Morrissey. So I'm sure he's keeping tabs on anything that comes out when it comes out. He would be a fool not to, considering that he was just under investigation by the FBI and the Department of Justice and the U.S. Attorney's Office. So to me, it sounds to me like, okay, maybe he hired people to handle these things, but let's not forget he hired people, and let's look at who he hired to do these things. These are acts of his in order to execute results that he wants. Okay. Which makes him responsible, which makes him accountable. Okay. Ken Mello didn't just fucking stroll along and go, yeah, baby, I'll violate Turtle Boy's rights. I'll violate his I'll stomp all over his First Amendment rights. Yeah. He didn't do that. This is a guy who had all these complaints on him from the bar and had a shitty fucking career. And for some reason, he was able to fucking get this guy to do what he's got to do. What's up, Microdots? Right? Same thing with fucking Brennan. Come on, man. You would think that that's a fucking tactical decision to hire a mob goon defense attorney to prosecute a case where there's no evidence, no credible evidence anyway? Dude, I said it a million times. I'll say it a million times more. As long as I talk about the Karen Reed case, you could take any piece of evidence that they considered inculpatory against Karen Reed. You could take all of them, put them in a hat, pick one blindly, and find reasonable doubt in it. Doesn't matter. Anything. There was no case here. This case should have never went past the grand jury, should have never went to the grand jury, but it never should have went past the grand jury, should have never went to trial in the first place, much less twice. I mean, these are just the facts. The result, Karen Reed was acquitted by a sensible jury. A jury that at least the two that I've heard speak out publicly, the two members of this jury that I've seen speak out publicly have been like a breath of fresh air, an absolute breath of fresh air. Like, oh God, thank God they saw this. Thank God they saw this for what it is. Wait a second.
Oh, here we go.
I think we got a super dad. Super dad. I think we got a super dad. Super dad. Super dad. Super dad. Dad, 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 dad. I think we got a super dad.
How dare you? Beautiful, messy ball. Okay. She said she's not a lawyer. He is the district attorney. You have to be an attorney to be a DA. Yeah, I mean, I think she knows that, but you know, I think it's just the way she was spitting out her words. But yeah, I mean, she's just wrong if she's trying to paint him out to be like, oh, he's just a guy who's whatever, and all the dirty players are the ones who are prosecuting the case directly. No. Like if they're the dirty ones, because she's not saying that they're dirty. She's very pro prosecution. So, I mean, he's never tried a case, has he? That's also a good point. I don't think Morrissey's ever actually been a trial attorney. I don't think he's ever tried a case. I think I heard that somewhere. I could be wrong, but I think I heard that somewhere. Right. Okay. I'm seeing more and more people saying that in the chat. Yeah.
The responsibility to. They had a case that was clearly a triable case. It was tried twice, right? Like they are under an obligation to prosecute that. So the idea that
I love how she had to slip that in there. She's very manipulative. She's just not very good at it. And she's not smart enough to be to manipulate someone with common sense and self-awareness. She's just not smart enough to do that. Because she lacks that advantage. So she's saying she tries to slip that in there and be like, these were obviously triable cases because they went to trial twice. If it was such a triable case, wouldn't she have gotten convicted the first time? I mean, isn't that what makes a triable case? Beyond a reasonable doubt, beyond proving guilty beyond a reasonable doubt, that's the case that is supposed to be brought forth to the people, representing the people of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. No?
Morrissey was going to capitulate to online pressure and arguably abuses and just drop this case that was clearly a triable case is ludicrous, and I think would reflect poorly on him if he did. You don't want a spineless DA. However, then
this logic is mind-blowing, dude. I got to hear that again.
Drop this case that was too often to prosecute. Case that was clearly a triable case. It was tried twice, right? Like they are under an obligation to prosecute that. So the idea that Michael Morrissey was going to capitulate to online pressure and arguably abuses and just drop this case that was clearly a triable case is ludicrous.
It's not ludicrous. It's not ludicrous because it wasn't a triable case. I mean, technically it was because it did go to trial twice, but that's because there was a dirty, shitty piece of shit judge overseeing the whole thing. Yeah. Judge Bev is fucking dirty. I don't give a fuck what anybody says. I don't give a fuck what anybody says. The bottom line here, again, now I will explain my position on that one more time. It's not that I'm accusing Beverly Cannoni of taking bribes or being blackmailed or anything of that nature. What I'm saying is if she consistently broke her oath to make decisions in the interest of truth and in the interest of justice, then that by definition makes her job corrupted, which by definition makes her a corrupt judge. So, Judge Beverly Cannoni is a dirty, dirty piece of shit. I watched her stomp all over Karen Reed's rights. I watched her gaslight the shit out of Bob Alessi. I watched her try to weaponize David Yannetti against Alan Jackson. Yeah, I caught that little trick, but they caught it. I watched her try to just every chance she get passive aggressively butt up against Alan Jackson and everything he wanted to do. I watched her get exasperated with delight, excitement. Like the fucking endorphins were going crazy in her when she thought that she had Alan Jackson by the balls. When she had grave concerns. I watched her shake in excitement. Her dopamine was fucking through the roof.
Chris, and I think would reflect poorly on him if he did. You don't want a spineless DA. However, then he lost the case. Okay. His office lost the case. Adam Lally, Hank Brennan, and Laura McLaughlin, their work was not enough, and this case is lost. And then we watched Michael Morrissey go into
the evidence wasn't enough. The evidence wasn't enough. And it boils down to one simple explanation at this point. Because Karen Reed's vehicle never struck Boston police officer John O'Keefe. It is simply that simple. It never happened. You can't prove something happened when it didn't. Science. It's crazy.
I'm going to get reelected. Let's just sweep this under the rug. And one of the first things that he did that I found highly objectionable was immediately cut off the victim witnesses' access to their advocate, right? Which is against the law. And, you know, I understand that some of this leaked out through some discovery in other cases and you know, chatter that went around and
Now,
people were celebrating this. But
who wants to speculate? Who wants to speculate as to why that happened? Because, I mean, I'll speculate. I have no idea, but I'll speculate. Because the victim's advocate was probably being Karen to death. Not Karen Reed to death, but Karen to death in the slang term by Carrie Roberts. Flooding their phones with whining and bitching about what people are saying about them online. I mean, and then they were just like, I can't fucking do this, dude. Like, do you see how many fucking people Turtle Boy had in his fucking live streams alone combined? Between all of his platforms just the other night. And then you got all these other YouTubers. You got all these people on Twitter. Can't deal with it. Like, they're just going to have to learn to suck it up. I'll bet you anything that that's what the witness victims advocate did. Because I bet you anything that the witness victims advocate finally got to a point where it was just like, this is crazy. Why am I dealing with all this shit when I know that this bitch fucking Googled how long to die in the cold at 2:27 a.m. If I had to absolutely guess, I'd say this victim's advocate was like, this bitch ain't no fucking victim, dude. You know what I mean?
Oh, here we go.
I think we got a super dad. Super dad. I think we got a super dad. Super dad. Super dad. Super dad. I think we got a super dad.
How dare you?
Shaun of the Gulf never looked better, bro. Meatball Morrissey, Sketty Stain. You can never trust the crust. The woman should be a case study. I agree. She is a complex mind, my friend.
Want victims treated well by your district attorney, right? Just because you personally out there have negative feelings about these people that you've never met, that you have no solid evidence did anything wrong, you've decided you joined your online cult, fine. The problem is that
I mean, I'm serious. Like I like that's what makes the most sense to me is The victim's advocate probably never said the shit out loud, but was thinking to themselves like, dude, this bitch totally fucking Googled how long to die in the cold at 2:27 a.m. I've spent time with these people. These people are fucking liars. And why am I fucking having to deal with this shit? Why am I having to deal with all of this shit? And so they told Morrissey, hey, I'm done, man. I'm not fucking doing this shit no more. Fuck this shit. Those motherfuckers need to suck it up. They need to suck it up. You know, it is what it is. People are talking shit about him online. Ain't nothing I can do about it.
Treatment that they receive then could be replicated in other cases where maybe you won't feel the same way.
What's the motivation for disconnecting with the advocate? Is it a financial decision? What do you think is the reason?
I don't know. I contrary to popular belief, I've never spoken to Michael Morrissey in my natural life.
He's the only one you haven't spoken to?
No, he's not the only one
that you haven't not spoken to.
I've never spoken to Adam Lally. I've never spoken to
bullshit. Well,
Laura McLaughlin.
Adam Lally, Laura McLaughlin, probably not. Ken Mello, fuck yeah, you have. We know you have. Brian Tully, fuck yeah, you have. We know you have.
I've never spoken to Michael Morrissey. I have never really spoken to Hank Brennan even. I will say, and this is entirely discoverable, I would assume, when the juror questions came out, I could read the writing on the wall. So I reached out to Hank Brennan via email and said, listen, the entire time this trial was going on, I'm sure he's aware of me. I was clearly aware of him, but there was no communication. I said, I'm reaching out now just to let you know that no matter the outcome of this case, you won. You won because you stood up and you were able to give this family.
Like, she's just inserting herself in everything is what this is. This is just a busybody psycho.
A sense of closure. I mean, again, if you listen to the case and you listen to his closing, he was able to get down to the second, pretty much, more or less, what happened to their loved one, right? And that closure is worth a lot. And I know that from hearing from the family and friends of John O'Keefe that Hank Brennan was very sensitive to what they were going through. He was very receptive. He was very dedicated. He gave them a lot of peace and solace and a sense of confidence.
As opposed to Lally.
Oh, wow. Thank you, Susan, for the Venmo. I appreciate that.
Wasn't giving that
or didn't necessarily think. I think that Lally was pretty invested too. And I don't want to, cast aspersions on Adam Lally. I've said this on Kevin's show and I'll say it on yours. I love a dispassionate prosecutor. Like I do. I think that is ideal. Everybody wants to be in front of a prosecutor that's just doing his job. He's not out to get you. He's not emotionally invested. He comes in 9 to 5, goes.
Okay. So you see, like, she thinks that she's manipulative, but she is, but you see the type of people that fall for this shit. Okay. I love a dispassionate prosecutor because he doesn't seem emotionally invested. No, dude, like Adam Lally was just plain fucking boring and uninteresting and lacked any sense of confidence whatsoever. He slouched. He was frumpy. That doesn't speak well to a jury. I'm sorry. You put that up in contrast to an Alan Jackson. There's no chance. There's no fucking chance. But I will say that Lally did get 9 of those fucking jurors, 9 more than fucking Brennan got. I'll say that. But no, man, like there's dispassionate and then there's fucking Lally, who I've said many times is the most unimpressive person I've seen in person, like ever. Like just the way he, like you just look at him like, damn. Like when you're in court, you're looking up at him and you're just like, I'm serious, dude. Like this guy's just awful. He's awful. He's awful. Brennan's worse. Brennan is fucking insufferable. Like watching when I went, I feel like Lally was like, when I was there when Bob Alessi had cross-examined that Burgess dude I told him, and he was like, fucking Alan Jackson passed him a little note, and then Bob reads it, and he's like, "Are you aware, sir, that the University of Alabama does not offer such a degree?" It was fucking great, dude. I fucking loved it. But Lally was, in comparison to Brennan, was a boss. The way he questioned Dr. Wolf, not, you know, the neurologist, I believe he is. The way he questioned Dr. Wolf, way more impressive than any other time I've seen Brennan question anybody. Brennan was trying to be impressive, but he was failing just left and right.
Home, smokes the cigarettes, and like just gets on with his life, right? You don't want a system that takes itself to, not seriously, that's not the word I'm looking for, but I mean, this 5 goes home, smokes out to get you. He's not emotionally invested. You know, he comes in 9 to 5, goes home, smokes the cigarettes, and like just gets on with his life, right? You don't want to.
That's exactly what I want. It's exactly what I want. It seems hypocritical, me like making this joke because I'm a smoker, but like, yeah, that's totally what I want. I want a prosecutor that goes home and smokes cigarettes, man. Fuck yeah. That's exactly what I want in a prosecutor. Hey, what an ideal prosecutor in a case? Let me ask you, how do you picture this ideal prosecutor? Well, my kind of prosecutor, totally unimpressive. Slouches, dresses bad, has like 4 hairs on his head, puts hair gel in it, overuses the term "what if any," goes home and smokes cigarettes, you know, minds his own business. It's exactly what I want in a prosecutor, dude. It's totally what I want.
You don't want a system that takes itself to, not seriously, that's not the word I'm looking for, but you know, a system that's really caught up in itself and doesn't really, right, and starts to have feelings about you as the defendant, right? So I like Adam Lally, but you know, the I don't want to say confidence, the experience level was pretty drastically different between Lally and Brennan, right?
Before you keep going, so the first time you reached out to Hank Brennan was during jury deliberation.
I love Jess right there, man. She's just like, bro.
Shut up! Oh my God, I don't care!
It was when the jury questions came out, yeah.
And did he respond to you?
No.
So you sent him an email using his public email, just telling him
that
you
I found
thought
on the
that
website. Yeah, I'm sure he's gotten a million of them from a million different people, good and bad, which is something else that, you know, I was sensitive to, particularly because, I mean, those jury questions were pretty clear when you're using the defendant's first name and you're asking questions about how you can essentially, you know, protect and preserve them. I mean, you kind of know where the jury is going. And I imagine that he was probably going to be receiving a lot of unsolicited mail around that time from people like me and not like me, and that a lot of it was going to be negative. And I'm sure that just from what I had heard about his investment in the case and his care and concern for the family.
Why? I can't imagine why an ADA prosecuting an obvious frame up, an ADA prosecuting an obvious frame up. I can't imagine why he would get a lot of hate mail. Can't imagine. Not in Boston. That's crazy. Wow.
You know, I figured he would probably take it pretty hard, and maybe it was going to be nice to hear from a stranger that, you know, he did what he set out to do, even if he doesn't get the result that he was hoping. And then I did see him in passing.
Yes,
And
Laura.
this is something
Thank
that I
you.
wish that people would understand about Hank Brennan too. After the verdict, there was a memorial that was held for John O'Keefe by his immediate family, friends. You know, it was a smaller event. I say smaller, but I mean, this guy had a lot of support. There was probably like 60 people there. But I do know that Hank Brennan was present there. But I kind of just came
Who
in.
was it hosted by? Like, who hosted that?
I'm not comfortable going. I mean, I'm not going to
She's not comfortable.
Oh, I didn't
talk
know if it was
about
like somebody not
specifics.
related to the. So you were
No.
invited to it.
This was yes, I was invited to it. I didn't just show up, but it wasn't. No, it was.
Look, she's not comfortable sharing. Why? What's there to hide? It already happened. It's not like people are going to crash it and cause any trouble. What's the problem? Because, like, I mean, whenever there's like a fundraiser or some shit, dude, I come back to you guys with stories, man, about Bob Alessi and Alan Jackson, and you know, we have nothing. Nobody on the Karen Reed Turtle Boy side have anything to hide. Like, yeah, like why not just, I mean, because it's clearly incriminating. it's clearly fucking incriminating. Like, I don't know, do you think that maybe the McAlberts were out there commiserating with members of the Norfolk County DA's office? Maybe. I don't know. I mean, I don't know, but when she does shit like that, that's the conclusion we definitely steer towards. I mean, let's just be real.
It's pretty intimate as far as it was just, you know, people that knew and loved John, who should be in court in this and have not been. So, but it really touched me to know that Hank Brennan was present for that and was still supporting this family, even though the state is no longer paying him to do so at this point. He has no obligation, but he's still supporting this family and he's paying his respects to the victim.
Now, you got to look at this in retrospect, right? You got to just look at the big picture here. And what's fascinating here is she's talking like a spokesperson for these people, for the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, for the McAlberts, for the O'Keefes. She's talking like she's a spokesperson for them. Okay. Now, this isn't anything suspicious. What it is a simple observation, because she's sitting here and she's saying, I don't even talk to some of these people. You know, like, I have no direct connection to Michael Morrissey or blah, blah, blah. But here she is, and she's just a big expert on who's doing what and what's going on. And, you know, it's fascinating. Now, what that tells me is that she's either lying about not being as close to them as she's claiming she's not, or she's lying about who she interacts with. But either way, she's fucking lying. You know what I mean? It's really weird that she's, you know, she lacks the self-awareness because she has to be heard so much. She has to be heard. Like, anybody posts something about her, she's got to read, she's got to quote it and come back at it. The first thing she said in this interview, when asked to tell us about you, she says, I fight with people online. That's what I'm about. Fascinating.
I mean,
do you think Hank Brennan got paid too much money for this case in the prosecution?
No.
Great question.
I believe he was billing at what, $250 an hour?
You feel comfortable with the dollar amount that the taxpayers have spent on this case overall? I mean, that's a big
Great
deal.
question.
I don't pay taxes in Norfolk County, but I don't believe that we should be attaching justice to a dollar sign, really. How would you feel if it was your husband?
Oh, I love that. I love that. That's my favorite shit ever. Like, I just imagine being my brother and hearing someone say that and my blood boiling. I don't pay taxes, but I don't think you should put a dollar amount on justice. That's real easy for someone to say who doesn't pay taxes. That's real easy for someone to say. Unreal, dude.
And brother, son.
Like, she's just describing her own character by the more she talks. And state taxes pay for it. Thank you. That's why it's the Commonwealth versus Karen Reed, not Norfolk County versus Karen Reed. But I mean, you have to have a job to pay taxes, dude.
Now, would you want them to pull out all the stops for you and give you the best shot at justice, or would you prefer that they pinch their pennies?
Well, I mean, we hit a brick wall with that, right? As far as they're concerned, there's no path to justice through Karen Reed. And so I guess some people would look at it and say it was a waste of taxpayer dollars. There's no path to victory there for the people advocating for justice.
That's not what I asked, though. I asked if it was your brother, your son.
No,
right?
I just kind of glazed over
wait,
there,
wait.
look at it and say it was a waste of tax. Count that, right?
Really, county, but I don't believe that we should be attaching justice to a dollar sign.
God,
really,
Jesus.
how would you feel if it was your husband, brother, son? Would you want them to pull out all the stops for you and give you the best shot at justice, or would you prefer that they pinch their pennies?
This is going to be a controversial thought. Before I let Jess answer that, I'll answer that. If it was my brother or son, I would pay attention to the evidence that's very, very public, because I would be following the case like a bloodhound. And I would be following the evidence, and I would be kicking Norfolk County DA's office in the balls to make sure that the right people are held accountable for my brother or son's death. Simple. Like, the evidence simply dictates that Karen Reed is 100% factually fucking innocent. Any moron can see that. So, yeah, like, I am still baffled that I'm still trying to understand what is driving the O'Keefes and has driven them in that direction this entire time. I'm baffled at this. And I'll never go as hard on the O'Keefes as Aiden does. I never will, most likely. I would never say never. But the Goodmans gifted membership. Thank you so much, the Goodmans, as always. You guys are amazing. But the fact is that they supported the wrong shit here. There's no denying that. It's not an opinion. It's a fact. The fact is that the O'Keefes took the wrong side here. They supported the wrong people. They trusted the wrong people. It's that simple. Laura Riker, thank you so much. Let's see if YouTube lets me call KP a pendeja. How much did KP's lies framing of Turtle Boy and meddling cost taxpayers? Good point. Right. That's also a great point. Now, the thing is what I love here is Kate is spewing out just bullshit after bullshit after bullshit. But Jess Machado is constantly on task. Constantly on task. She's not ever getting agitated. She is asking hard questions. She's being very respectful. She's letting her answer. She's giving her so much rope. And it's brilliant. It's great. Meatball Morrissey Skitty Sting, thank you. I'm sorry. How many other families has Norfolk County paid this amount of money? Oh, yeah, 0. Right. Yeah, this is wild. What's up, Dina?
I mean, we hit a brick wall with that, right? As far as they're concerned, there's no path to justice through Karen Reed.
Thank you, the
And
Goodmans.
so I guess some people would look at it and say it was a waste of taxpayer dollars. There's no path to victory. They would look. Well, I mean,
Sorry,
and give you the best shot at justice, or would you prefer that they pinch their pennies?
I want to hear Jess's answer thoroughly here.
Well, I mean, we hit a brick wall with that, right? As far as they're concerned, there's no path to justice through Karen Reed. And so I guess some people would look at it and say it was a waste of taxpayer dollars. There's no path to victory there for the people advocating for justice.
That's not what I asked, though. I asked if it was your brother.
That's actually her answer. That's a perfectly legitimate answer to that question. If it was my dad or my brother or my uncle or my son, well, yeah, I would be fucking pissed. I would be pissed that she answered she answered it the same way I did, just shorter. She took the shortcut. That was the Cliff Notes of what my answer was. She was just like, well, clearly the path wasn't through Karen Reed, and now there's a brick wall. So, and all these taxpayer dollars have been wasted on going the wrong way. Yeah, I'd be pissed. I'd be fucking pissed.
Your son.
No,
right?
I just kind of glazed over that question. I was just going back to, like, sentiments and things that I've read, especially, a lot of mainstream media have published the dollar amount attached to this trial. A lot of people saying this is our taxpayer dollars. I don't want my money spent on it. Earlier, I know you were busy, you were walking your puppy, but like we were talking about the connection between voting and who ends up becoming your district attorney, and then that person makes these decisions. So I was just trying to tie the money in. I was just curious if you felt that there was too much money being spent overall on this whole case in general.
I mean, Hank Brennan really discounted his rate significantly.
Wow.
Right. I mean, $250 an hour for an attorney in the city is unheard of, right? It's unheard of. And the complexities of this case, again, they were serving the family, and you need to take it out of just this issue in and of itself, right? With Karen Reed, because people are very entrenched, very dug in. Again, I really don't see the injustice in a woman whose car data shows she was backing up erratically at the same time as the victim in this case stopped moving forever. Draw the inference from there as you want. You can be like Paula Prado and think that she just hit him with the car, he lost a shoe.
No, they painted the picture that she backed up erratically. Like, that's your evidence, is that she backed up erratically? And let's just say she did back up erratically. It's absolutely consistent with somebody who got sick of waiting for her boyfriend, who was supposed to come back out and at least communicate with her what the next plan was. That's what any fucking person would do. I know I would have. I'd have been like, oh, fuck this. Fucking, took off. That is not even remotely suspicious. It is absolutely consistent with what her story was.
Went in the house and got murdered, or you can plug your ears and say no, nothing happened with the car. It doesn't really matter. That is enough to say this is a triable case. And so if you take it out of this case and say, well, what if it was me and my family?
No, it's not.
Would you want a second trial? Would you want a trial as many?
This is what these idiots do. You know how I know she's stupid? It's not, she's not fooling me with her use of unnecessary, obscure words from time to time. She's not fooling me with her ability to speak and articulate and spit out information. She's not impressing me with that because I could still see right through what she's doing, which is avoiding simple facts like that they drew these conclusions that Karen Reed was guilty within hours. I mean, within minutes, really. They drew this, they drew the conclusion that Karen was their guy right off the bat. She's leaving that information out. Okay? That is the first step as to what makes it not a triable case, because that right there is the first indication of reasonable doubt. The first indication. Then you get to the evidence. Then you get to how the investigation was conducted. All of these things would cancel out a case being able to be prosecuted in any other court. Every law tuber I've ever spoken to about this case agrees. I mean, this stuff would have absolutely been more than enough, typically, in theory, to get thrown out and not prosecuted in any other court.
Times as possible until you could get some sort of closure? Would you want them to skimp, or would you want them to, expend as much resources they can? And, I would hope that other cases.
No, dude, it's not skimping. Like, you see what she's doing there? Like, she thinks she's so fucking slick. It's not skimping. It's not skimping. No, it's applying economically viable. Because if you don't have ADAs capable of trying a case that has enough evidence to prove that she's guilty, if you don't have ADAs that are capable of doing this job, then you need to hire new ADAs. That's what they're there for. That's why you hire them. So that when cases come along that are triable, they can try them. You hire special prosecutors to try unwinnable cases. That's what you do. You don't hire them because you just want the best to get justice for the O'Keefes. That's not what's going on here. Michael Morrissey doesn't give one slight little fuck about justice for the O'Keefes. I guarantee you that. Let's get fucking real here. Applying the resources within your already existing budget at the Norfolk County DA's office is not skimping. It's proper management is what it is. Unless you hired a bunch of incompetent ADAs, which is not the case, I don't think. I don't believe that to be the case. What I believe to be the case is that no ADA would take the case. No ADA saw this as a winnable case and was like, fuck you, dude. I got a career I'm trying to think about. I'll fucking go to fucking buttfuck Ohio and try fucking cases where somebody sabotaged somebody's milk farm or some shit. I don't give a fuck. I'm not going in there and fucking being displayed all over the whole goddamn world as somebody framing an innocent woman. You got me fucked up. That's why you hire a special prosecutor. That's why you hire a defense attorney as a prosecutor. Why? Because the evidence dictates that the witnesses for the prosecution are the ones responsible for the victim's death. So this is what Michael Morrissey's thinking. Go in there and cut her defense's legs out from under her. That's what you're hired to do. You're hired to go in there and sabotage. You're hired to go in there and do underhanded shit that I can't ethically ask my ADAs to do. Special prosecutor means that you don't answer to me. I hired you to try this case at your own discretion, and you're responsible for every decision that you make. That is Michael Morrissey keeping his hands clean of a fucking frame-up job, or attempting to anyway. That's all that is. Stop it.
In Norfolk County that do not involve such high profile defendants or police officer victims, or, you know, the money that was expended into this. I would hope that they expend the same sort of care and expense into every case.
Don't. I mean, take it for somebody that covers other trials and they don't. I mean, there's a big disparity between, you know, the work that goes into different levels of cases. I mean, just having covered a couple cases, it's very different.
So what?
Go ahead.
What makes Karen Reed special in that regard, then?
Well, I mean, I think there's a lot of things that make her special, but I want to move because we don't have a lot of time. I want to ask you a question about anti-Karen Reed, for Karen Reed, whatever. That's one thing. In the scope of all of these people that are kind of in that camp and the Turtle Boy camp, you're an adversary. It's obvious you feel very comfortable in that role. You're confident in that role. Is there any time where you're not an adversary?
There's one simple explanation for that. There's no need to scratch our heads over it. There's no need for that. She's proud and admits it. It's the first thing she led into when asked to describe herself. It's because this is the only thing that provides her any relevance whatsoever. She doesn't matter otherwise. She has nothing to offer the world other than toxicity and turmoil. That's it. And she wears it. She knows. That's why she so proudly says these things, is because it's the only thing she has to be proud of. It's the only thing that provides her any relevance whatsoever. And I'm happy to do it. I'm thrilled to be able to like give her all the relevance that she wants. It's fun for me. Because there's no way I'm not going to come out winning, you know? It's fun for me. But that's why. That's the only reason. Her entire purpose in her mind is to give other people grief. Think about that. Think about what type of a person that is. Think about what kind of soul it takes to run a body to do these things. Laura Riker, thank you so much. New Microdots on Patreon today, mind-blowing. Yeah, I'm subscribed to Microdots on Patreon. Make sure you guys subscribe to Microdots on Patreon, man. It's great. I'm gonna watch it soon. But I mean, I'm not gonna review it here. It's Patreon, bro. You guys gotta go subscribe and watch it. But yeah, I got a notification for it earlier, so I'm excited to check it out.
Your opinion and what you think actually does align with the majority. You're part of a smaller group. You're an adversary in these stories, in many of the stories that, you know, are surrounding Aiden. Is there anywhere where you're not an adversary, where you do align with him or the Free Karen Reed people on a different topic or an issue?
Great question.
Or are you just always by default an adversary?
Excellent fucking question. Like, I have to celebrate that question right now because, I mean, it's just fucking brilliant. Like, prove to me right now that you aren't just a Turtle Boy hater. Prove to me right now that that's not what you are, is basically what Jess just asked her to do. DJ, thank you so much. My colleague, The Glare, is an outstanding broadcaster and can do a rant like other. All right. Well, thank you, DJ Sam Marco. Do you have a channel? Okay. Well, cool. Right on. Sweet. Fuck yeah, bro. Thanks, man.
No. So I mean, I did write for the guy for 2 years. I at the time, believed that we had more common cause than was reality, right? I don't agree with the tactics, whatever. But there have been years in between me leaving Turtle Boy and Karen Reed where I really didn't comment much on what he was doing, whether or not I agreed with it or not. But sometimes it's not that I would disagree with it.
Calling all beings.
Certainly.
Yeah, man. Fucking stupid YouTube is fucking with the handles, man. My bad, dude. Right on. Yeah, sub to Calling All Beings, y'all. Right on.
I wouldn't say all of the politics in particular, but he certainly has been correct on things like the mayor of Fall River, for instance, is one that I can come up with off the top of my head, where it's fair play. There's nothing to really argue with or comment on. The guy's a public figure who clearly did something wrong, and that's legitimate. And we go over.
But Michael Morrissey hasn't done anything wrong, right? Jen McCabe hasn't done anything wrong. Brian Higgins hasn't done anything wrong. Come on.
The Karen Reed situation, though, no, there's absolutely nothing to agree with whatsoever. I see that you had said I don't want a lot of drama. I'm trying to elevate things. I know that you care about at least the perception of journalism, right? Okay.
Well, a lot of the stuff I do not related to Karen Reed is fact-based journalism, FOIA requests, public records requests, and then taking that information and making it easily digestible to viewers. Those are things that don't often get extracted through mainstream media. So it's that in that respect, the meat and potatoes of my work is rooted in those types of things. Karen Reed was a one-off. I hadn't covered a trial before, so I understood that there was passion surrounding it and people that were interested in a different perspective. And I'm sure you've heard the story why I started covering it. So, I wanted to be an alternate voice in the courtroom that was taking what I saw and then typing it on a screen. So fake fact-based reporting is kind of my thing. Yes.
Okay. Well, I mean, I don't often see in fact-based reporting repeatedly making statements such as, this group of people should not go outdoors anymore. You're always going to be found. You're always going to be, and then also following through with that too.
Is that not a fact? Is that not a fact? Are those not facts? It's not a fact to say that the McAlberts have shown their asses to a point to where, I mean, let's just face it. A, they got away with covering up a murder so far. B, they've shown their asses and acted like fucking cunts ever since. Why the fuck? How is it not a fact that they, in public, should never be comfortable? Now, I'm not saying they should feel threatened. I'm saying not be comfortable. They should always have people looking at them and going, those are the fucking cop killing pieces of shit that suck. Like, that's all I'm saying. I'm saying they deserve that. And I'm not saying to go out and do it. I'm saying that that's just what I feel is just in at the time, in this moment. I feel like that's what's just, simply because it's the least of justice. Is it not? Karen Reed's exoneration proves Turtle Boy right. This is the one thought that we cannot overstate, my friends. And we have not been using this hashtag enough. Turtle Boy was right. The fact is that once Karen Reed wasn't exonerated, Turtle Boy was validated. And should be vindicated. These charges are ridiculous. Like, no, they're fucking asinine, dude.
I don't see a lot of journalism where there's calls to action to persecute people who have been charged with no crimes. Even if they had, what I can say is that in the 3 years that this case went on, nobody ever went to Karen Reed's home. Nobody ever hassled her parents in public. Nobody ever really hassled her in public, with the exception of that one lunatic that came in from like Florida or whatever. But you didn't see a lot of copycats after the fact, right? Nobody ever, repeatedly called her and told her that she can't leave her house, or, that just didn't happen. It's not appropriate. That's not first. It's not journalism, but it's not justice either. And that's something that we continue to see happen to this day, right? And it's
gonzo journalism. It's journalism that got shit done. That's how you chalk up Turtle Boy's journalism as of right now. Turtle Boy's journalism got shit done. Whether you like it or not. And since there's so very few of them, I love it when those that don't like it don't like it. I love that shit. Only because there's so few of them. But for those so few, I love it. I drink that shit in, dude. I drink that shit in that they hate it so fucking much. It's fun. It's fun to watch miserable pieces of shit like this melt down, bro. It just is. And because she's wrong constantly, every time she talks, it's a fucking meltdown. It's a meltdown. It's somebody just spewing out bullshit that nobody believes because the facts have already proven her wrong. So when she talks, we just go, what? And that's it. Like, the clock is simply ticking until this woman is just completely, until she's not even going to be able to show her face ever. The clock is ticking on that. That's what makes this so much fun, because she loves to be heard. The more she talks in between now and the time that she ends up on the stand, like, the more she talks, it makes that much better. When all of this comes to a head, when that zit gets to a point to where it pops on its own, it makes all of this talk in between so much sweeter. I love it. I drink that shit in, dude.
Step back and say, well, I didn't do most of that, and I don't think you did. I did a very cursory look just to be sure before I broached the subject, but I don't see that you've done it a lot. I've seen you sit complicitly by and kind of seal clap for it, though.
Well, I listen. So you're talking to a girl who spoke out against people in her own community and caught.
And this is awesome because Jess is in full control of this. Okay. Make no mistake. This like, you got to read between the lines here. You got to really like read into the vibe that's between them right now. Like, if you're reading the vibe is that Jess is completely in control of this interview right now. And Kate Peter is doing exactly what Jessica Machado wants her to do, which is taking very small passive aggressive jabs at her. Because Kate Peter is also afraid of looking like the one who had a meltdown. She knows where she's at right now. She knows she's on Jess Machado's channel and not her own channel. So Jess Machado right now understands this as well. This is beautifully played. It's beautifully played. Because Jess Machado is just like Sugar Ray Leonard. I mean, she's just bink, little jab. She's just getting points. What she's doing is getting points. And through some of those points, she's getting Kate Peter to react exactly how she wants her to. Jess Machado is setting the tone here. So as long as Jess Machado never crosses the line of disrespect, she's got Kate Peter exactly where she wants her.
My own cases, so to speak. You know what I mean? That landed me in my own court issues. And I understand more than anybody that my intentions were to just have a different opinion, speak up against local politicians and people that were in power that I thought were, you know, not being forthcoming or transparent. And by speaking up, that caught me a bunch of trouble. I've never had a criminal record. I don't have any other issues ever. I didn't even have a speeding ticket. I've lived that. And I understand that when you have a
I can
different
tell,
opinion,
Jess. I can tell.
or you're confronting elected officials or people in power, and you have a different opinion than what most of the people say, that draws attention to you, and then people in power use and leverage that power to kind of get at you. I mean, I've lived it. So
people soccer moms like Jen McCabe, and what you're talking about, because I'm aware of your situation, which I find to be very hypocritical as well. But you're
see, the thing is Jess also understood going into this, and at the very least, within 30 seconds of this interview initiating, Jess knew that she's there for combat. She already knew that. So this is why Kate Peter's asking her questions. She's trying to flip the script. She's trying to take control of the situation here. And now that but Kate Peter also understands that she's not in control of the situation because she's not getting Jess Machado to react in any way, shape, or form. Jess Machado is absolutely and totally staying 100% on task. And Kate Peter is not liking it. But she can't lose control because she knows that she'll look bad. Right, Jess. Yeah. I could see exactly what you were doing.
Talking about petty disputes that were also resolved somewhat. So they mean court abuse. Do I think that either one of you ladies in that situation were legally entitled to restraining orders against each other? Probably not. There's a lot of incongruity with how those things are put on. The fact that one was on you for 3 years to me is ludicrous. And I've heard both sides of the story, right? And
the only difference is I didn't understand. First of all, I didn't have an attorney, so I couldn't afford one, and I didn't understand the process or the law. And once I did, and I advocated for myself, it was dropped. The only difference there was, and I say it all the time, I said it to the judge, you can pull it. I said, the reason this has been in place for so long is poverty. I didn't understand the law and I couldn't afford an attorney. Now that I do, I would bet nobody will ever get a restraining order on me because I don't break the law and I understand the law now.
But I'm agreeing with you on that was a bad mistake. It's not. You have to understand with 258E, right, which is the harassment prevention order statute. It's a copy and paste from 209A, but prior to them enacting 258E, you could only get an order of protection if it was an intimate relationship, a family or an intimate partner. And so there was an incident where there was a waitress, right, and this waitress is being stalked by a patron, and she's getting very concerned for her safety. And she's going to court and they're saying, well, you don't know the guy. He's not related to you. You never dated him. There's nothing we could do. And he ended up murdering her. That is the spirit of that statute, right? So the fact that it has devolved to essentially a mechanism to silence dissenting opinions is something that irritates me. And I certainly would contend that I am dealing with that, right? Because we can pull, transcripts or the FTR on the last hearing that I had with Mr. Aiden T. Carney. And his complaints about me were that I post about him too much, that I said that he killed his dog and he did not, and therefore it incited people against him, and that he, was in mortal fear because of this. specifically admitted
Does he
no
currently
true
have a
threats.
restraining? I don't know, just because
Yeah,
I'm going to be very.
and your audience does, I guarantee it. But
So
this is my point here, right? We're talking about words on the internet, and you again pull the FTR. He admits no true threats, no fighting words, right? And it's issued anyway. It was taken under advisement and then issued. It is what it is. You know, I went in without a lawyer as well. You know, and you're contending against a force in this case. It's just to try to shame, discredit, silence. I understand that, right? I do. And I think that what is important with this is that we have an individual here who has advanced way past anything you or I have ever had to deal with as consequences, right? This is not a petty misdemeanor that's going to get dropped, quaffed, or filed away in court. It's not a civil order. These are serious indictments.
So let me
that
let
keep
all
piling up.
viewers know. Let all viewers know what you're referencing is Aiden Carney's witness intimidation charges.
Correct.
That he's going to be going to trial for. I'm going to let you say a couple things about it. Then I want to talk about that.
Hopefully he doesn't, but
right. This has progressed to a level that is way beyond that. These are not politicians. These are not public figures. These are not people who have voluntarily put themselves on the internet. I ask for everything that I get online, as do most people involved in this conversation, right? You put yourself out there, you're going to get what you get back. We have a group of people who did not do that, though.
So let's explore that for a second. I find that pretty fascinating myself. So let's explore that for a second. So here she is, and she's saying she understands. I've gone on rants about this. When I talk about this John Barron bullshit, I go on rants about this. About, like, if you're going to put yourself out there publicly online, become an online personality of any kind whatsoever, you're going to expect people to talk shit about you, and you're going to get shit for what you do. Everybody understands this. But the thing is she's doing it. Everything indicates that she's doing it to get the online harassment, to get the pushback, to get the criticism, to get the insults. It's like she does it because she enjoys that aspect of it. That's sick and twisted, because the other indication that that's true is that she's clearly smart enough to understand that the evidence dictates that Karen Read is innocent. She's clearly smart enough to understand that Turtle Boy that everything Turtle Boy did was within his First Amendment rights, that he was acting within his First Amendment rights. She's smart enough to understand that chapter, what is it, 268? What does she say? 268, chapter 13A, 13B is, she's smart enough to understand that it's unconstitutional. If she's smart enough to understand the Constitution, she's smart enough to understand that law is unconstitutional, which tells me that she is acting clearly out of spite. That spite is what drives her. And if she's acting clearly out of spite, and she also understands that you're going to get criticism by being a public personality, on an online personality, you're going to get shit for it, you know? So that dictates to me that she does it to get the shit. She does this she does this because, I don't know, she fucking hates herself. Maybe this is her version of, you know, like a girl who likes to get choked in bed. I don't fucking know. I mean, yeah, I know, guys. You guys got a visual, and I'm sorry.
Oh! Ew! Dude! What the fuck?
But I'm just saying everything indicates that she does this for the punishment, that she does this so, I mean, maybe she's just somebody who likes to play victim, Because I've known people like that too. People who will always attack other people so that when they get attacked back, they get to call themselves victim. They instigate and they push buttons and they attack, straight up attack. And then when someone defends themselves in any way, shape, or form, they play victim. And then they get off on the victim blanket that they get to hide under. I can't fucking stand people like this, by the way. These are the worst kind of people to me. Like, I call that shit out immediately when I see it. I'm just like, oh, fuck you. Fuck you. I have no respect or patience for that shit. None.
To this day have been charged with no crimes, have not been investigated for any crimes. There is nothing to suggest that they've done.
Let me back up for a second. So let me just say Kevin Smith is getting victimized by Aiden and his activism, right? Let's just give a blanket statement like that.
So it's activism, not journalism.
Is she bringing up like Jess? Are you talking about Kevin Smith, the filmmaker? Who's Kevin Smith? Am I missing something?
You can be a journalist and an activist. And he definitely blends those two roles. I mean, 100%.
I don't know that you can all the time because that kind of eats into your objectivity.
That's a great response to that. Yes, you could still be a journalist and an activist, and Aiden is both those things. Oh, okay. It was just the first generic name that came to your head. Got it. Yeah, like John Smith. Got it. Yes, guys, I got it. Dude, whenever you guys start flooding my chat with fucking, and it's no way to like, it's just annoying, but it's not your fault because some of you guys are behind. Yeah, that's a great response. You can absolutely be a journalist and an activist. How can you not? Why can't you be a journalist and an activist? Why the fuck not?
And I don't think that we should even put any parameters on it. I think his type of journalism is extremely.
We can call it criminal conduct because that's technically what it is. So his criminal conduct.
Let me go back and ask that question.
Criminal
Kevin
conduct.
Smith, whoever was being victimized by back and ask, I don't think that we should even put any parameters on it. I think.
Hold on.
I don't think you can all the time because that kind of eats into your objectivity.
I think you can, and I don't think that we should even put any parameters on it. I think his type of journalism is extremely.
We can call it criminal conduct because that's technically what it is. So his criminal conduct.
Let me go back and ask that question.
I mean,
Kevin Smith, whoever was being.
She's trying to split hairs here just to get she's just trying to get like a whiff, bro. Like that's ridiculous. It's pathetic and it's desperate. You know, what about criminal conduct? Criminal conduct. What criminal conduct? What kind of conduct was criminal? Exactly. Asking, why did you Google how long to die in cold at 2:27 a.m.? Asking, why was there no taillight found on the lawn of 34 Fairview? Why wasn't the shit taped off? Why were you at Michael Proctor's house? I mean, these are legitimate questions. Perfectly legitimate questions. And sometimes you got to be a little aggressive to get close enough to get an answer. Sometimes you got to rattle cages. It's just how that is. When you've got a conspiracy, which this clearly is because these people clearly conspired to cover up the murder of Boston police officer John O'Keefe. We all know this. This is not speculation. This is fucking fact. Because if Karen Reed didn't hit John O'Keefe with her car, then he was inside that house and he was dumped on that lawn. He was inside that house, got killed inside that house, and then dumped out on that lawn. Period. And everyone fucking lied. Everyone who sat on that stand, who was in that house that night, well, most of them fucking lied. So when they're being evasive, trying to avoid these questions, you're going to catch them in places where you know you're going to catch them. Because them clearly avoiding you when they're walking away or not making contact and just trying to act like you're not there while you're asking them these hard questions says a lot about them. Says a lot about them. Because if these were just innocent people, I'd be like, listen, if you just want to talk to me, let's set something up and I'll sit down and talk with you. Just, like at my kids' lacrosse game, come on, have a little tact. But that's not what she did. They just got in his face and acted really defensive. Matt McCabe tried to act all tough. That's all that happened. But she could have just straight up been like, listen, because if you're just a regular, normal soccer mom, that's all you are, is a regular, normal soccer mom, right? Well, why would you not be willing to sit down and just have a conversation? Okay, I could put this down, especially Jen McCabe being the kind of person that she is, the fucking control freak weirdo that she is. She could be like, I could put an end to all of this right now. All of these people all of my friends and family that are getting harassed by this guy. I could put an end to it by just sitting down with the guy and having a normal conversation. But she never did this. She only acted defensive. Everyone around her acted defensive. All the cops acted defensive. Chris Albert has threatened Turtle Boy. Chris Albert charged Turtle Boy with window intimidation. I mean, these are all things that they're impossible to overlook. These people are just acting guilty collectively.
Being victimized by Aiden's style of advocacy or activism, go and get a restraining order against him.
It would depend.
But so, I mean,
now, yeah. Has there ever really been anybody like Aiden? Well, no. You know how I know? Because they don't make movies about people who are just like other people. They just don't do that. They make movies about pioneers. That's who they make movies about.
If all of these individuals feared and were worried and concerned, why not leverage the court system and go and say, here's A, B, C, and D, and everybody go and say, I need a restraining order. And, I've had one against me. You've had one against you. I don't know if you approach it the same way as I do, but it put the fear of God in me. Not only because I didn't want to accidentally be around person, but also that they could manipulate that law in some way and cultivate a circumstance where I could be in violation of it. It's HBOs scare me. And so I essentially...
And why wouldn't you be? These things are weaponized and thrown around all over the place. I've never seen so many fucking HBOs in my life since I started covering this case. They're fucking all over the place. It's wild, dude.
Avoided, took extra care. Why not just go get restraining orders against them?
Or I believe that was attempted, and they hit a judge who did not issue it. And again, right, but then you look at, what did you get a restraining order on Holly for? What were your complaints?
I didn't. So just full transparency, I didn't get a restraining order on her. She was looking.
See, Kate is trying to put the ball in her court so that she could piggyback off of what she says. She doesn't want to make herself. She doesn't want to incriminate herself or make herself look stupid. So she's asking Jess questions. What was the HBO against Holly for? Before I tell you,
for a restraining order on me.
Mm-hmm.
I defended myself to that. In the event that the judge was going to allow that, I was going to make a case for me getting a restraining order based on similar styles of behaviors that she had.
Okay, so
Her
what did she
case
get
went
one on
first.
you?
Her case went first. The judge denied it. It didn't meet the threshold. And so I didn't understand. I actually had to withdraw my motion for one, but you can hear it. I just said, I'm not going to move forward with this. I respect the court and how they understand the meaning and interpret this law, and I'm not going to move forward. And so I didn't present my case. I didn't present evidence. I just said, I get it. And that was it. I didn't officially withdraw it because I'm not an attorney, but if you pull the transcript, you'll see I was just basically like, okay, this judge understands it. I was defending myself. I basically put myself with the safety net and said, if I do get a judge that isn't really going to look at this law in the way that I think it should be interpreted, and they're going to allow inadvertent connection or me being in the same place at the same time and then drop a restraining order on me, well, I've got my own set of facts that would fall under that umbrella, and so let me present it. But once I heard his decision and that he was saying, listen, this is not harassment, this is not A, B, C, or D, I knew that this judge understood and I wasn't going to move forward. So I didn't get one on her. She tried to get one on me. It was declined. The only success I've ever had in obtaining a restraining order was Stephen Cody, who was sending food and things to my house and posting crazy videos online.
That scares you? Does that scare you?
Well, there was a video that scared me that talked about like effing my skull, and it was pretty grotesque and disgusting. And that alone probably wouldn't have, but sending items directly to my house and then having these people show up, it was just a pattern that
people showing up at your house you think is harassment?
Say it again.
People showing up at your house or sending things to your house you consider to be harassment?
No. So for me, the real reason for asking for the restraining,
she's combative. And she's trying to get a rise out of Jess, but Jess is just not falling for it. She's not taking this bait. She's in full control of this. So she's, as soon as she said, oh, well, people showed up at my house, like it was like one of a million things that she was naming. So when these people are talking about skull fucking you and then they show up to your house, that's a threat. So yes, it's a little different than them showing up to your house and going, why did you Google how long to die in cold at 2:27 a.m. since the Celebrite data says that you did? Celebrite data that is used in just about every fucking trial I've every other fucking case, high profile case that I've ever followed. Like it's a bit different. It's a bit different. And right. And then when they ask him to leave, he leaves. But showing up and asking questions as a journalist, which he is. I mean, he's a journalist. People showing up to her house delivering food. Yeah. And that's just some shit that trolls do. Like when they find out where you live, they start sending you fucking DoorDash with like cat food and shit like that just to fucking fuck with you. They just do that. And you're right, Olivia, the delivery aspect is important. Because it makes a difference. Like that was my point, is it depends on what they're there for. If they're there to ask you legitimate questions in regards to a high profile case that they are witnesses in, it makes sense to want to ask them questions. That's what a journalist does. That's what a thorough fucking journalist does. But if you're showing up after you said that you were going to skull fuck somebody, well, that's a bit different, man. That's threatening. That's menacing. That's not just hurt feelings.
Against Stephen Cody is I had no idea who he was. And so all of those behaviors together and not knowing who that person was and also his own criminal history, is what kind of made me feel like he was unstable. And so I asked for, and by the way, it was a temporary restraining order that was issued. I didn't ask for it to be
A
extended.
TPO.
And as you know, my only other one is against Grant, and that was because it got physical, which I think is what it should actually be used for when it gets
So
physical.
you're afraid of Grant Smith Ellis.
I'm definitely afraid of his instability.
Yeah, like right here, she's trying to make Grant out to be harmless, which can be dangerous. That's not something like you don't minimize someone's fear of another person who has a legit restraining order against somebody based on the facts that Jess names here.
His behaviors are extraordinary, and I don't understand, and
What
it makes me
behaviors
nervous.
specifically? What behaviors specifically? 'Cause
Well,
I know you guys got I saw the
watching him
video.
get angry
You
and
could have
attack
left,
me.
and he could have left, right? You're both screaming at each other, and I guess he picked up a chair.
See, she's losing it. Kate's losing it here. Like, she knows she's not in control of this. She knows she's not in control of this. And she also knows what Jess Machado is doing. She's just not quick enough to catch it. She just knows every time what the result turns out to be, and then she becomes aware of what Jess is doing. She's just not smart enough to get in front of it. But she desperately keeps trying, and she's showing her frustration from it right now because she's cutting her off. Look at her face. And now, I mean, but look at this face first.
Oh, here we go.
I think we got a super dad. Super dad. I think we got a super dad. Super dad. Super dad. Super dad. 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 I think we got a super dad.
How dare you?
Aaron Hack, thank you so much. Off topic, but I have to tell you, watched your stream with Rackets today. I was in tears. You two have a vibe. Love it. I had a great time with Rackets with Rekieta Law, Nick Rekieta. I fucking love that guy, man. That I had so much fun on that show. Like anytime he wants to be back, I'm down to go. I'd love to have him on here at some point. We definitely had a good time. I mean, 5 hours. It was like the shortest 5 hours on a stream that I ever had. It was great.
Behaviors are extraordinary, and I don't
Thank you,
understand.
Aaron.
And
What
it makes me
behaviors
nervous.
specifically? What behaviors specifically? 'Cause
Well,
I know you guys got I saw
watching
the
him
video.
get angry
You
and
could have
attack
left,
me.
and he could have left, right? You're both screaming at each other, and I guess he picked up a chair. I mean, listen, I don't.
Oh shit. My neon keeps going out. I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? Hold on a second. Is the power going out? Hold on.
Like Grant Smith Ellis. So like let's not take this as a personal offense. The guy's a fucking lunatic. We can agree on that. Okay. Like that's but again, like, you're saying things, right? And on one side of your mouth, you're going, well, this is activism. It's somewhat defensible. What's going
The
on
only
with the
reason
McCabe's
I
and
had a
Alberts?
restraining order against Grant, the only reason is because he physically put his body and his hands on me. I could have handled his behaviors if it were just verbal. Was it easy to do? No, because
But not Steve Cody's then.
Steve Cody crossed that threshold.
Yeah. No, it's just my neon that was like glitching, which is kind of weird. But it wasn't a power outage. If it was a power outage, then there would just be my screensaver on the screen, and I'd have to wait for the router to kick in. And that would be very inconvenient and suck. But yeah, like, so she clearly gets defensive here. She's sick and tired of not being in control of this conversation and tries to shift it. It's fascinating. She's ready. She's dying to hit her with these, and try to make Jess Machado out to be a hypocrite in some way. And it's not. Yeah. Grant playing rotate the chairs as well. I hope so bad that somebody plays Grant in the Turtle Boy movie. Please, God, Let there be a Kate Peter, let there be a Grant, let there be a fucking Wendy Murphy, please.
Told of coming to my home and making sexual videos about me getting killed and fucking my skull. And I don't know that person. If I had met that person or I had people in common with him where I could have kind of like bounced off like ideas of who this person is and he's harmless, maybe I wouldn't have been so scared. But the culmination of videos, sending things to my home, and then having all these people show up.
The fact that Kate Peter just completely dismissed that detail, she's explaining this for the second time. The guy made these sexual videos depicting her skull getting fucked. That shit, now, if Jess Machado, God forbid, ends up murdered, then Kate Peter is not even thinking about what kind of an asshole she's going to look like here when that happens, just for the sake of trying to win an argument that's not even taking place. Jess Machado is not allowing this to become an argument. She is not allowing this to become even a debate. She is merely providing her with, she's giving her the courtesy of answering her questions to the best of her ability until she gets to the point to where she gets to ask the questions for Kate Peter that she wants to ask her. But she will humor her and answer her questions. But she's not falling in the trap of, where you're going to sit here and corner me and try to make me out to be a hypocrite. No, you're not going to sit here and pick and choose the facts of the things that I just said. I'm just not going to let you do that. I'm going to leave it like that because I don't want to look at her face.
With food to kind of disrupt my household.
We love your face, Jess, not the other one.
Made me wonder, who is this person? I don't know him. I think I need some protection. And by the way, all I did was go and ask a judge, do you think I need protection? And the judge agreed. I didn't ask for anything more than what had just happened to me.
When you're making
Grant,
that request,
by the way,
you're signing under the pains of penalty that you have a good, you don't go in and go, I don't know, judge, what's your opinion?
No,
Obviously,
no.
the final decision is their opinion, but you are putting under the pains of perjury that you are afraid and that you have a good faith belief that you were entitled to this order, right?
The video online is what sealed the deal for me with Steve Cody. That video.
Dude, listen, I remember that shit happening. I remember Jess shaking and crying. I remember Aiden stepping in and calmly de-escalating the situation. I remember this vividly. I remember her crying, and I remember Grant trying to switch things and act like he was the victim while Turtle Boy was filming him and going, Grant, stop it. No, you pushed her. That shit was not okay. I saw you push her. That shit's not cool, dude. And he was just simply holding him accountable. He did it calmly. And Jess was freaked out because Grant was obviously not acting rationally. This whole chair situation was so insane that Beverly Cannoni was not going to let it happen again. It's Grant's fault. It's literally Grant's fault that there was a lottery this trial for press seats inside the courtroom. That's not even an exaggeration. It's literally Grant's fault that there was a lottery for that. He did what? Grant broke his sister's. Okay, we don't use that word here, rebels. We don't use that word here. We say Grant broke his sister's prosthetic baby house. Case closed. Okay, we don't use that other word here. Grant broke his sister's prosthetic baby house. Thank you.
Was extremely deeply concerning. But with Grant Smith Ellis, Every time I've gone in front of the court, you can get the transcript. I'm going to show you this interaction with him and I, which, by the way, I understand it didn't get the whole interaction, but the whole interaction would have showed him running up the stairs after me. He put his hands on me.
Right.
He put his body up against me, his hand on my back. I don't want anybody touching me there's Kate, that's weird. If somebody that you don't like, if Aiden Carney touched you or put his body up against you, you would want an HPO.
Grant spews out the most insane theories that just are lies. They're not theories. He spews them out like as though they're fact, and they're just straight lies, insane things. The bullshit about going to Aruba with Alan Jackson and blah, blah. What are you talking about? Like, Grant is completely, the thing is I don't even dislike Grant. Like, I don't. But the thing is about Grant is what she's saying about him is not untrue. The dude is unstable. He's unpredictable. His behavior is irrational and erratic. And he ran up to her and grabbed her. That is menacing. That is troubling. That is a reason to have fear. When you consider his behavior all the time, and then consider him running up to you and running after you and grabbing you over a chair, that the responsible thing to do is to get a protective order. Because she's got to go there and go to work. She's got to be scared this dude's going to run up and what's he going to do next time? She didn't predict that he was going to run up and fucking grab her, right? Or push her. She didn't predict that. What's he going to do next time? The responsible thing for an adult professional journalist to do in a situation like that is just so she can keep doing her job is get a protective order.
You'd be like, I don't want this guy touching me.
And honestly, throughout the years, at this point, I played the whole HBO game in the beginning. He's going to try to get one on me. I'm going to try to get one on him. But the fact of the matter is, whether it's him or me, when we sign that paper saying I am scared, it's a lie. You're lying to the court, right? I'm not going to do that. I'm not.
You're not scared. You're not scared of Grant Smith Ellis like going unhinged and getting crazy. I mean, you know him,
right?
You've been around him.
He's a fucking soy boy. He is a soy boy. He is a whiny, delusional pothead who has to drive.
Every fucking male mass shooter is a fucking soy boy, dummy. The fuck are you talking about?
His mother's car. I'm assuming that if he was driving off to go do something reckless, she would probably tell him no. She has that kind of level of control over him, even though he's like 38 years old or however old he is, because he's a fucking lunatic.
When he was
his
running
mother's
up those
insane
stairs to come and get me from moving that chair, he was crazy. Like, it was a crazy.
His mother, Wendy Murphy, is just as fucking irrational as he is, if not worse. What are you talking about that Wendy Murphy's going to put a leash on his ass? That's not going to happen. Wendy Murphy's a fucking rabid asshole. Let's get real.
Physical push. I mean, like, that's the thing. Talking, this could go crazy, right? Between you and I, we could run our
mouth. So that's one instance. What were the other two?
That's it. That's all it took.
No, that's not the law. It takes three separate acts. Three separate acts of harassment. It does. 3 separate acts. So what are the other two? I know that originally you had made complaints that he was making posts about you, that he was making allegations against you that were baseless, as I recall. That was one of your complaints. And I understand how that can be distressing, right? Like, I mean, he does it to me right now, and I'm pretty thick-skinned because
I believe, I don't have it in front of me, but for Grant, I believe it was the physical situation. It was him inside the press box talking to other peers right there about like lying about me. I'm going to be honest with you, Kate. I had 3 different judges for Grant. So the first was an emergency order. The second was the first order that was instilled. And then I had a different judge for the third. All 3 of them pulled the transcripts.
Yeah, we won't be able to go over this whole thing because I know I'm still going to have thoughts and pause it. And there's 40 minutes left of this interview, and there's 45 minutes left before Aiden's stream starts.
I showed the video. I talked about what happened that day. All 3 of them issued them. It didn't.
And 3
take
judges issued against you too. So maybe we can just say that judges are not always
the
right. in
same
this
judge.
regard.
It was Kevin Finnery was the only judge that issued against me.
So let's
Wow,
just
okay,
say
then
that judges
I've
aren't
one
the
judge
same
3
in that
times,
regard.
but I don't really consider that to be the hallmark of a
Well, one of them
legitimate.
has a restraining order against them right now, and it's not me.
Oh, as of right now, right? Like I haven't run out the 3-year clock yet either. And again, I don't agree that there should have been a restraining order against you. I think that I understand why you're getting defensive, and
Wow.
I'm not defensive. I mean, listen, I'm going to be honest with you.
At no point did Jess get defensive. She simply answered her questions, which she doesn't have to do. But she simply kindly extended her the courtesy of answering her questions. That's all Jess did. And that right there proves that I was right about what was happening with Kate Peters. She is losing control of this conversation. So now she has resorted to gaslighting. She's resorted to gaslighting. Trying to I get that you're defensive. Blah, blah, blah. No, I'm not defensive. You accusing me of being defensive when I'm not is defensive of you, but okay.
Understand the optics of restraining orders, and believe me, between you and Aiden and all of these things, I get that. And then Holly going to try to get one, I get that. I was kind of like, oh, this is stupid.
But then you diminish.
I really needed the one from
to
Grant.
The Alberts, McCabe's, and the O'Keefes too. But the Alberts and the McCabe's at least are the ones that are named victims on this.
Oh, I not only do I diminish it, I fucking incinerate it. I want to see those people in fucking jail. All watching them get questions asked of them is make me smile. I want to see them in jail. These people murdered a cop and covered it up. I want to see them locked up. So yeah, it makes me smile when somebody asks them the questions that are designed to hold them accountable. Since nobody else who was in charge, whose civic responsibility is to ask these questions, failed to do so. So yes, it's nice to see an independent citizen hold these people accountable, have the guts to hold these people accountable. Right. And totally, Jess. Yeah. No, of course not.
You diminish that. Like, you are entitled to get a restraining order against Grant Smith Ellis because he told some lies about you in the press box and touched your back.
I got a
touched your back. I touched your back, right? You're entitled to get an ex parte order against Stephen Cody because he makes creepy videos about you and says crazy stuff and
sends in jail
to your house. Which, by the way, he's done the same to me. I still get. I don't know if you've ever gotten Tomorrow's World. I know he's in jail. And yeah, I feel a certain way about that. Even though he's done the exact same thing to me, I still get the junk mail to this day. I've had the food. I just never responded to it.
When I called the police about Steve Cody first, right? When I found out it was him, right? Because he messaged me. I called a police officer. It was probably 11:30 at night. And I asked the police officer, I said, listen, I don't know this guy. Do you think I have anything to be worried about?
Yeah, she's grasping at straws.
And I said,
Somerset.
Doing. And he said, he Ubers everywhere. And I don't think he can afford to Uber to your house tonight.
She got really mad there when Jess Machado pointed out the fact that Steve Cody's in jail. Like, she's trying to act like he wasn't that dangerous, but what's he doing in fucking jail?
but that doesn't mean that he can't come. I suggest you get a court order against him. That scared me when the cop said he might not be able to afford an Uber today, but maybe tomorrow, and then he's coming to you. So I was like,
To do what?
Who knows?
Right.
Okay. So, I mean, the Alberts and the McCabes have had repeated visitors, and it's not just Carney either. Just to
Have
be
they
fair,
tried to
you
get
know,
restraining orders? Has Jen McCabe gone to get a restraining
she
order?
did,
against
and
anybody?
it was denied. And I don't think it should have been denied, but she hit a judge.
Dude, it was denied because nobody threatened her. Nobody threatened her. Dude, if anybody straight up threatened Jen McCabe of physical harm, I would absolutely and totally condemn that motherfucker. I'd be like, that's what you get. If they go to jail for that, that's what you get. Nobody told you to fucking do that. Who the fuck told you to go and threaten people? What the fuck's wrong with you?
Who I
Why
don't
not
think got it
why
right.
not go to a different court and ask for a
Well,
different...
I mean, at this point, that's just sort of, I mean, isn't that a little bit extra? I don't think that they're out to try to like destroy this guy or throw everything at the wall.
Wouldn't they be out to protect themselves?
Well, there's a no contact order baked into those charges.
Right.
Oh, that's coming up.
You know,
that's coming
and,
up, Jess.
So I think it would be a little redundant. Number one. Number two, I mean, if you were in fear, right? Like, let's say that you go to get that order against Steve Cody. He's a really scary guy, and it gets denied. And by the time that you're leaving the courthouse, Steve Cody is already posting about, ha ha ha, I know you tried to get an order and it failed, and you know, good luck.
I'm actually gonna skip to that part because I don't want to miss it. I don't know what timestamp it is though, but
do they go to your house? Do they bring things?
Unfortunately, yeah, I've had people come for this family. You don't want you to do it? Do they want you to do it? Do they want you to be this person?
I know them.
I love
and
this to my house. Been through it. I mean,
I
don't want
to bring strangers to your house. Do they have you photographed on vacation?
I mean, I don't want to dig up some old stuff, but I've been through it. I mean, I have, unfortunately. Yeah, I've had people come to my house.
A fraction of this, and I would suspect that you've probably been through a fraction too.
I mean, I guess my question is, why do you feel the need to be the advocate for this family?
I love this.
You don't know them. You didn't grow up with them. You don't live.
I didn't grow up with them, but I do know them, and because nobody else would do it. But everybody else just jumps on it. Even you jump.
Fact number one, nobody else would do it. I wonder why that is. Fact number two, you're the only one that would do it. And you hate Turtle Boy. Do with that with what you will, folks. A, nobody else would help or speak up for the McAlberts. B, the only person that would hated Turtle Boy when she started doing it.
Do they want you to do it? Do they want you to do it? Do they want you to be this person to advocate for her? And we should be getting, I mean, do they want you to do this?
They've never expressed, they don't ask me to do it. So it was never a request, right?
All right.
I've
got 1.7 thousand of you watching just here on YouTube. Stop what you're doing right now and click on this link real quick. Come right back, but give it a like. Go give this a like and come right back.
Sticking up for these people when I saw what was going on, right? I had never even spoken to them at that point. They didn't ask me to. Now I have friendships with these people, right? And so it's never like, you know, they knew that.
Friendships. Let's talk friendships. My bestie is here. We've gone on vacation together. We eat dinner together. Our daughters are friends. What kind of friendship do you have with Jen McCabe? And I mean friends. Like, I'm sure you have a friend in your life that is not related to Aiden or Karen or anything. Where does Jen McCabe line up in the friend group? Like, what kind of a friend is she to you?
I would say that, you know, it's what do I put it? I consider her more than an acquaintance, but not a close friend. I'll put it that way. I go to her home My children know her. She knows my children. I've met her children. I know her husband. We socialize. We've been out, you know, we're friends. I don't talk to her every day. I don't confide every last little detail of my life. I don't have that closeness.
Outside of Aiden, outside of Karen and this really bad situation, do you have a friendship with Jen McCabe?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. So
no couch exchanges. Like that
Who paid for your couch, Kate?
I paid for my couch, and I'm not ashamed to admit I had to finance it, and I posted that receipt, right? Because that was
Jess didn't even bring up the couch, bro. Like, Jess probably saw that shit as low-hanging fruit. She wasn't even gonna go there. Like, she wanted the real shit. She wants to know, why the fuck are you, like, why the fuck are you advocating for these people? Did they even ask you to do it? Like, do they even want your scraggly fucking protective order collecting ass? Do they want you attached to them publicly? Are you kidding? Like, because that's what I'm thinking. If I'm Jess, that's what I'm thinking. I'm like, why do these people want this person to be their spokesperson? I've always wondered this. And Jess is asking this question. I love Jess for asking this question. But the answer is not really an answer, which is fascinating as well.
A purchase that was over $900 altogether.
Not only did she completely avoided the friendship detail with Jen McCabe by falling on her sword and bringing up the stupid couch thing. And then, like, nobody gives a fuck really about your couch. Like, we laughed about it for like 2 days, bro. And then that was it. It was over. Like, by the second day, some of us were laughing at the people that were still laughing about it. You know what I mean? Like, it was done, you know? Nobody gives a fuck about the couch. It's just funny. You know what I'm saying? It just made for funny memes and jokes on Twitter. That's all it was. But you could tell how bad it got to her. You could tell how bad it got to her. She's more worried about whether or not she got paid with a couch than whether or not she's friends with Jen McCabe. She didn't ask her if she got bribed with a couch. Jess Machado didn't even imply that she got bribed with a couch. She just said, are you and Jen McCabe friends? And then all of a sudden she offers this couch story. Nobody gives a fuck about your fucking layaway deal with the fucking couch, people. Nobody cares about that shit.
And I couldn't afford that without making payments. That's just the truth, right?
And that is totally fine. I don't feel like you should ever have to explain that.
And I'm not even, like, I am never going to trash somebody for financing furniture, dude. Like, it is what it is. You do what you got to do, dude. So fucking what? You know what I mean? But, like, it was just funny that the friend that played her said that Jen McCabe paid her off with a couch. That shit is funny, dude. I don't give a fuck who you are. That shit is funny as fuck. Whether it's true or not, it's fucking funny.
But you know, a bunch of people asked me to ask you questions when they heard you were coming on. What kind of financial benefit have you received from being an advocate for any of these people at all? Anything?
None.
That's
pretty
a
much.
goddamn lie.
I will say that I have a buy me a coffee. So when I do edited videos, which are often on the subject right now, because that's what I'm interested in, viewers have the option. I could pull it up right now. We're talking maybe $500 here, $200 there. There is absolutely no financial benefit in this for me whatsoever. I still have to work. Like, I am not.
That's because nobody gives a fuck about you.
Getting payments from the DA's office. That would be insane. First of all, you could look that up, right? Because they have to account for their expenditures. Second of all, I provide nothing of any value to them at all. I have no connection to the Norfolk County DA's office.
If you're getting more attention through me than you can get on your own, what does that say? What does that fucking say? If you can get more attention through somebody who just did their first fucking live stream than you can get on your own, what does that say?
Whatsoever. And I don't know what they would be paying me for. Jen McCabe would not pay me for anything. Again, like, they're not asking me to stick up for them. It's not that it's not appreciated.
I was going to ask you, do you feel like everything that you do is valued by these people?
I mean, yes, but that wasn't a prerequisite either, if that makes sense.
Do you ever have moments where you feel like kind of used?
No. Used for what?
Right. So let's just say that she's not being paid. Maybe she's telling the truth. And Michael Morrissey has never paid her, right? Let's just say she's telling the truth on that. I don't believe it, but let's just say she's telling the truth on that. What she's doing is freely admitting that she is doing this out of pure hatred for Turtle Boy. Pure hatred. Because again, if she is as articulate as she is, it tells me that she's intelligent enough to know that the evidence dictates that Karen Reed is innocent, and she is only speaking up for the McAlberts since nobody else will, for obvious reasons, that she's doing it because she hates Turtle Boy. That's it. So either she's doing it because she hates Turtle Boy, or she's doing it because she hates Turtle Boy and she's getting paid by the Commonwealth to do it. Or out of somebody in the Commonwealth's pocket.
Being the spokesperson or being
I'm not the spokesperson. I'm not.
No,
I'm not. My views are my own. And when I get up and speak, I am talking about what I observe, what I know to be true, what I believe, right? These are my opinions and my opinions only. I'm no one's spokesperson. That is a, term that you guys have made pejorative at this point almost, right? To try to shame me for my voice and then shame by them, by extension when.
Dude, there's a lot of things that you need to be fucking ashamed of. Like a lot of things that you need to be fucking ashamed of. But just expressing your opinion is not something that's not something that you need to be so fuck, man. That's really annoying that's happening with my neon. I might have to get a new neon, whatever. Anyway, it's incredibly telling. Like you're speaking for them. You are a spokesperson for them. You're a self-proclaimed spokesperson for them. If you're speaking in favor of them, if I consider myself an advocate, if I consider myself an advocate, well, okay. I mean, I guess he's not. I guess it's fair to say that she's not being, unless she's being paid, right? I guess it's fair to say that she is not an official spokesperson for them, but she's the only one speaking up for them. And she sure talks like she's speaking for them. When she talks, she says things as, no, Jen's not this, and Jen didn't do this, and blah, 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 and blah. That's speaking for someone. Like, I'm careful to say, hey, I don't want to speak for this person, but you know what I'm saying? If I'm this person, I'm careful about how I word these things. She doesn't do that. She basically just spits out information as though it's fact about these people, which comes off as though she's speaking for them. She wants to be known as the authority on the McAlberts, but yet doesn't want to come off like she's speaking for them. That makes no sense.
There's no connect there. They're not telling me what to say or asking me what to do it. I did it of my own accord before I even spoke to these people.
Well, we know that
doesn't mean that we haven't developed a relationship, which I'm.
No, nobody's denying that. Yeah, we know why you went into it. But apparently there's a lot of evidence to indicate that your relationship with them evolved to something very, very unethical, to say the least. That's what you're being accused of.
Very forthcoming with, because I understand that it lends, I guess, a little bit of bias, but it gives me more insight than you have, or Turtle Boy has, or most of the people that cover this have, because you are covering a case, a story, an event that you don't even know the other half of. You've never even endeavored to try. You don't know these people. I mean,
What do you mean? Turtle Boy went out of his way and showed up to Jen McCabe's daughter's lacrosse game and asked her, and he inquired. What are you talking about? All Turtle Boy's been doing is trying to find out what's going on with that other side. That's all he's been doing. What do you mean? So he's going to put out whatever he can put out. He's going to find what he can find out and put it out there. They had the opportunity to set the record straight. If the record wasn't straight, they had the opportunity, but they didn't. What do you mean that nobody's attempted to understand the McAlbert side of things? That's all Turtle Boy's been doing.
I lived at one point in New Bedford. I lived on Bullard Street. Okay, we're talking,
Oh, I didn't know that.
right, extreme poverty. Okay, I have met killers. I have lived next to them. Okay, like, there is no killer in any of these people. It is absurd. And if anyone really had a genuine interest, a genuine curiosity, as I did in the beginning, to look at this from all angles and determine, that would be something that I feel like you would suss out pretty quickly. These are just average, normal people. They are not internet people. They are not murderers. They are not people that asked for this at all. They're not asking for my advocacy. They didn't ask for any of the abuse, right? And my defense of them is just simply because.
Well, they did, because they lied. They did because Jen McCabe lied insanely in 2 different trials, while evidence of her sinister behavior in the early morning hours of January 29th, 2022 her behavior in those early morning hours was sinister. That's undeniable. The evidence dictates this.
Because it's morally correct in a situation where not many people would do that.
Ryan Albert's behavior, sinister. Nicole Albert's behavior, sinister. Brian Higgins' behavior, sinister.
Whether it's out of fear, whether it's out of a need for a sense of belonging, whether it's because it's financially incentivized. I can look myself in the mirror every day and know that what I'm doing is not. I don't have any sort of social pressure to take the standpoint that I do. Quite the opposite. I'm not making a lot of fans and getting a lot of adoration over this.
I mean, it's not really that fair of a comparison, but it's fair enough. Yeah, BTK, nobody thought BTK was a killer, but, nobody thought BTK was a killer. Nobody thought Ted Bundy was a killer. Richard Ramirez, different story. But nobody thought Jeffrey Dahmer was a killer.
Making any
Well,
money.
you're
It's just the right thing.
definitely, we talked about it a little bit. You're definitely comfortable being an adversary. You're definitely comfortable being that odd man. It doesn't bother. Can we back up for a second? Can I just ask you seriously? Does it ever get to you?
The effect on my children. But that's really.
What do you mean? How does it affect them?
It's very telling.
I mean, the filth that is spouted about them.
Do they see it?
Not so much anymore. My daughter is a girl and she's older, so she's a little bit more plugged into social media. I know that at one point she took it upon herself to try to negotiate the removal of anything about her and her siblings on Turtle Boy, and that was wildly unsuccessful and led to actually the only earnest attempt for a restraining order that I've ever made because I was concerned about the effect on my child.
I listened to that hearing.
Yeah.
So, I mean, first of all, I'm not a big fan of like showing my weakness when it comes to like being on the other side of these things, because I feel like, people who don't like me win when they see me upset or they see me cry. But if I'm being honest with you, I've had those days and those moments where I'm in a rough place. You know what I mean? Like emotionally, like I'm in a rough place. Like, there's court stuff hanging over my head. I'm worried about jail. I'm worried. Like, do you have those moments where you're like, what the fuck am I doing? Why am I doing this?
Right.
I don't need to do this. I should stop doing this.
It's very
No,
telling. It's very look, and she's like, no. But it's extremely telling that she is, Jess asked her just completely straight up. She asked her, like, is there any point where, this gets to you? Right? And she's gives the worst possible answer. It gets to my children. And then later on goes, don't you ever want to like, don't you ever feel like it's enough? And then she's like, no way. Like, which just indicates that she just doesn't give a fuck how this affects her kids. She just doesn't care. Like her spite and her visceral is run so deep that she doesn't care how it affects anyone else. It's crazy.
Now, I've never worried about jail. All right. And without
You've never worried about what?
I've never worried about jail. I know that that's like a common refrain. The legal stuff, quote unquote, hanging over my head has only ever stressed me out as much as the financial impact of it. And at least with this latest round, I was eventually able to get a bar advocate, which was great because I don't have to pay for them
Thank you,
anymore.
Freedom Keeper.
I trust the system enough. And, again, I don't really discuss open cases. I can discuss closed ones and say that they work out the way that they're supposed to with either a dismissal or I did plead guilty to threatening to commit a crime because there is video of me talking about how I would beat up Aiden Burns.
I have not had a chance to catch up on that. I know that you were in court. So you pled guilty? What happened?
In Leominster. So, again, I
Vitriol,
think,
yes.
Honestly,
thank you for that.
Wear the shoe on the other foot.
Yes, thank you. I'm kind of stupid. Appreciate that. Vitriol is exactly what I meant. Yes, thank you.
People would be more receptive to what's going on here. That it's clearly judicial abuse at this point. And what I say is, we have a lot of attempts at charges and police reports. Some of them fail with the police, don't go any further. Some of them fail at the magistrate's level. Some of them sneak in and become a charge.
Wait, how many cases have you had? Like, how many times have you been
three, but I know that he's filed, probably 15 police reports.
Right.
There were 2 recent cases that got to the clerk magistrate's level. I actually put it in a video because for once the clerk magistrate not only shut them down, but said, I am concerned.
My favorite thing is when she mentions being a libertarian.
About how this police department is being manipulated against Miss Peter, me. So
your local police department?
No, this was his. Right.
So hold on one second. Let me ask you a question because I feel like if we were talking face to face, sitting at a bar, like this would be easier.
Right.
How much do you hate him?
There we go. That's what I wanted to get to. I was about to try to
That's a tough question. That's a loaded question.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
At one point,
the fact that it's a loaded question, she didn't say, do you hate Turtle Boy? She didn't ask, do you hate him? She asked, how much do you hate him? And her answer to how much do you hate him was, that's a loaded question, implying that how much fucking time you got as to the reasons as to why I hate this man. That's what that was. Remember that. She said, not because she didn't say, do you hate Turtle Boy? How much do you hate him? And her response was basically, where do I even fucking start? So funny. Jess is brilliant.
I respected him. right? At one point, I believed in what I thought the blog was. I saw the impact that it had on people. I wasn't around, I think, for your blog, but when I hear you talk about it, I know that it affected a lot of people that way. I was uncomfortable continuing to contribute to that, especially with how random the targets start feeling, right?
And thank you, Caitlin, for the Venmo. You said, should we start a douche canoe fund for KP? Now this is for being you. Thank you. Appreciate it.
You're not leveling vitriol at people because they've, I have a rule in my own content, right, which is that I don't like to go after people that aren't making themselves visible. So like, I don't want to troll Facebook and find somebody who has a problem with somebody else and suddenly bring them over to my channel, push them in public and shame them.
So in your opinion, I was running for school committee. So if there was a story written about me, I'm a public figure and that's okay.
I don't really know the specifics on yours. So if you're running for school committee, you have elevated yourself to a point where you're asking for some criticism, right?
Yeah, I agree.
That doesn't mean that it's boundless, though. It can't be. It has to be commiserate, right? So like, I like to sort of match the energy of whoever I'm sort of up against here, right? Like, I understand that at some point, if you're hitting a soft target, like a, proverbial nuke, right? You're a piece of shit.
Oh my God, I don't care.
It's not fair, which is why, like, Steve Cody, I saw all that go on, but the kid is legitimately disabled. You have to understand. Yes, can you look at him?
No.
Oh my God. Girl, I could show you videos of this kid playing I mean, a horrible person. It's also kind of funny, but not really, because like, he's clearly like, I mean, he's got like, there's something wrong with, like, I wouldn't use the R word to describe him. That's how I feel about
my
him.
first show. Please don't do that.
No. I'm saying like, that is, I use the R word to describe people who I just believe are stupid, misguided. You know what I mean? I wouldn't use that word for him.
I didn't have talking so much about Steve.
I mean, I'm the same way. I don't use retarded to describe people who are of any, mental or, deficiencies of any sort of any kind. I wouldn't do that, but I use that word to describe the willfully ignorant, the ones who know better and choose to just ignore logic and rationality and just out of sheer pride and being stubborn and stupid and allowing their hatred to fuel their decision making. Those are the people who I refer to as retarded.
Show bingo card. So let's move on from that. I asked you if you hate Aiden.
It's just a loaded question. I hate what it has become. I don't love him now. I don't know. I don't love him. I don't like him. I honestly, what I can say is that personally, like throughout the tenure of writing with him, I didn't like him personally at all. I think he, that was part of, I think, the issue.
Were you friends with him? Were you friends with him? Like, you're saying you're friends with Jen McCabe now. Like,
no, I never considered
you were never friends with him.
No, I mean, again, it was a weird situation. I thought that I was signing up to write and there was going to be some sort of base level professionalism. I had never done this before, the blogging thing. That didn't happen. And so it seeps into I would call it a personal relationship, but I can admit it. People know at the time, I talked a lot of shit about him behind his back. I didn't like him. I would push back on him to his face too. I didn't personally, I found him to be an unlikable person. I didn't like, a lot of things, but it wasn't hatred. I still thought that all right, so I wouldn't hang out with this guy. When he calls and I'm with other people that we kind of know in common, everybody's shutting up in the car. Nobody wants him to know that we're.
Which would enforce Aiden's accusation that she stole from him, because you don't steal from people who you respect. You justify the shit in your mind. These shitbag thieves who can't fucking earn shit on their own, they justify their shit like, oh, well, he's an asshole and he deserves it. Blah, blah, blah. That kind of shit. That just makes me think more that she always found him unlikable, so she found it okay to fucking rip him off. That's all it tells me.
Together because we don't want to invite him. That's sort of it, but not hatred. I left the blog, and even when I left the blog, it was definitely strong dislike, but hate is a strong word for me. I put it up there with evil, and I say this on Yellow Cottage Tales too, so I'm not adjusting for the audience here. I just honestly those big, strong words take a lot for me. I wouldn't say that I don't hate him as a person. I don't really like him, but it's everything that his blog has become. I hate. I've made that distinguishment before, and it's
the reason why she can't answer the question is because she can't explain the simple fact that she does hate him, and hate in its own weird, twisted way. And I'm just going to end it here. Maybe we'll, depending on how much is left, we'll maybe come back to it another day, but there's only a few minutes left. But yeah, there's enough to still go over for another time. And a big shout out to Jess. Make sure to like this video that I'm dropping in the chat right now and subscribe to the channel. Jess, that was fantastic. Got to give you a round of applause. Yeah, the fact is, it's very simple. Her feelings, hatred in its own weird way, is a form of love. When you have hatred for somebody, that means that they occupy your mind and they provoke emotion. And that is in and of itself a form of love. And she doesn't know how to explain that she is, in her own sick, disgusting, pathetic way, in love with Aiden T. Carney. That's just a fact. Blamodin R. Thank you so much. If you haven't already, I would love to see a post-trial show with Monty and Hannibal. KP has zero credibility, just must have a headache after this. Oh yeah. I already did that. I did a Hannibal and Monty one, and I started schooling them on Turtle Boy. There's more to come. We're gonna do more Hannibal and Monty stuff because I fucking love those guys and they're fantastic. And make sure, if you guys like comedy, subscribe to Hannibal and Monty. You won't regret it. They're hilarious. The Hannibal and Monty show. And now, yeah, I mean, it's clear. It's clear. I mean, she's so obsessed with him. I mean, it's clear that she wants him. It's clear that she wants him. It's like, it's so weird because like everyone can see it but her, you know, or she sees it and she just tries to avoid it, and you know, like, that's it. I mean, that's what it boils down to. Yeah, man. So yeah, man, I think I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this up, folks. Man, fun stream. I really enjoyed it. Again, thank you, Jess, for conducting such a great interview. There's still some left, so next time I'm live, I'll probably finish that off, start off the stream that way, and go over that before I go into whatever else I'm going to go into. And I'm going to do a Patreon stream soon, guys. I've got a Patreon stream. For those of you who don't know, if you're new to the channel, what I do is I review movies that everyone loves that are actually bad movies, and I ruin them for you, and I point out why they're shit movies. And so far, it's been kind of a hit. It's been great, and we've really been having some fun. So far, I've done Top Gun, The Notebook, and Point Break. Didn't I do one other one? I don't remember if I did one other one. I thought I did one other one. Any chance you will do the same on your show with Josh as you've been doing with Hannibal and Monty? I wanted to, and thank you, Felicia. I wanted to. I contacted Josh a couple times about it, and he wanted to do it, but it just never happened for whatever reason. Will the woohoo right on. Thank you, Woohoo Worldwide. Appreciate it. And Brian, thank you for the Venmo, man. What does it say? Will, I apologize for the Mrs. comment last night. Busey. Oh, the Goodmans. Oh, no, there's no apology necessary for that. I just disagreed with what you said. That's all. I mean, we're allowed to do that. We love you here, the Goodmans. You know that. But yeah, in 2 minutes, Turtle Boy will be making his return from his vacation, and I'm sure he's going to have a lot to discuss, a lot of yarns to spin, and I'll be in that chat with you guys shortly. So make sure to go over there, check him out, give him a like, support his channel. Guys, thank you so much. I appreciate you. Make sure to hit the like on your way out for me. Make sure to subscribe if you're not already. And if you are new subscribers, I really hope you're enjoying the channel and you continue to enjoy it. And thank you guys for all of the generous support. You guys have been so generous today. Thank you so much. I never have the right words to express my gratitude to you guys, but I love you guys very, very much. And we will do this again very soon, my friends.